Hi, it's Greg Dwyer. Welcome back to Mindful Conversations. I had Chris on last week. This is Chris Lengyel. Today we're going to talk about magic of the mind. We're going to talk about the philosophy of a magician. We're also going to talk about the philosophy to be a business owner. So Chris, thank you for coming back.
It's great to be back.
So last time we talked about how you got into magic, why you're doing magic, who you're doing magic for. But today I'd like to ask you, some questions about the philosophy. Like, how does a magician see the world differently? Because they have to, right?
Yeah, obviously.
And how is that? How do they see the world?
I think because magicians have such an open, they have an open mind. They have a different way of thinking.
They do.
Me personally, I see the world in a way that, like, if I'm in one place, say if I'm at a restaurant, people will be sitting there eating, and I'll be sitting there like, hey, I wonder if this place could use some good, entertainment, or there would be a really nice area for a stage right there, or, I wonder if maybe they had like a theme night for like the families and stuff.
Sure.
See, I look at it as like a business standpoint almost, and that's with anything. It's like I'll be at the grocery store, like, I wonder if they ever close this place down, if it can be turned into a theater.
Right, right.
Something
Sure.
like that.
Sure.
So I think magicians, natural performers, we always have that mindset of being able to expand what we do, always opening up our options and possibilities,
Sure.
always trying to find new business ventures,
Right, right.
And it works
Right.
sometimes.
Well, the name of the show is called Mindful Conversations, and I remember years ago being in a theater, and everybody was moving out through the doors to the right, and I was with my friend Steve, and, it was getting to the point where everybody was blocked up, and everybody just couldn't get through the doors. There was like 4 or 5 doors, and 500 people were trying to get through the doors. So I looked at my friend Steve, and I said, Steve, let's just go out the other side. And he was like, what? I said, those doors over there. He says, everybody's going out here. Why don't we just go out the other doors, which was acceptable? And we did. But the mentality was, well, if these people are doing it, we all should do it. And I think what a magician does is he takes a mindset or a frame and changes it, by making it different. And in the process of changing it and making it different, he's able to fool people.
It's like thinking outside of the box.
There you go, thinking outside the box, exactly. So that actually helps business people, salespeople, anybody that's running a business. In fact, I knew a guy that actually did magic, went around speaking to businesses saying, think like a magician. And you have to look at things differently to achieve your goals.
Well, don't you have some sort of like examples in your talk?
Yeah, I do. I do a talk called The Magic of Communication, and I talk about perception. It's really about communication and perception and how to think outside the box and see things differently. But as a business owner yourself, as a magician, you're going in there to entertain people, but you also have to have a mentality of, how do I find the next gig? How do I find the next promotion, right? You have to be thinking one ahead.
How do you talk to the client?
How do you talk to the
client? Who's going to be there?
Right.
There's it's a big puzzle.
It is a big puzzle.
Big puzzle.
And how did you put it together?
I'm still putting it together.
Okay. Yeah, so am I.
Naturally, we all are, because it's like once you think you have everything figured out, something new comes along, either a new technology or a new way of promotion.
Right.
If you think back, what was 20 years ago? What was the most popular way to promote a business?
Well, I don't know if it was Facebook.
It was definitely not Facebook.
It was not YouTube, I don't think. Maybe email?
Yellow Pages.
Yellow Pages? We're
Yellow
going back that
Pages
far?
and newspapers.
Oh, forget that. Do they even make newspapers anymore?
They do. I still find them around my neighborhood, but I don't use them to read. I use them as Kindle for firewood.
Right.
But think about it. When was the last time you saw a Yellow Pages phone book?
Right. No, it's been a long time. Yeah, exactly.
People have changed. Like, granted, my grandparents still look in the Yellow Pages for pizza places or phone numbers and stuff, when I can pull up my phone and it's right there in my hand.
You got a computer in your hand. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
I heard from a speaker one time in a YouTube video. He said the phone is now the TV,
right,
and the TV is now the radio, and we're back in 1945.
Wow. No, what does it mean by the TV's the radio?
Because the radio at one point was where you can listen to your shows and you can listen to radio programs. There was advertisements there. And then, your phone was strictly for conversation, right?
Yeah.
Now you watch TV, you've got all your shows, you got the commercials in between the shows, you've got all of the advertisements that are coming right in your face in high definition, mind you.
Right. Right.
And you can do the exact same thing on your phone when you're away. You know?
Right.
If you're out on the train, or if you're out on a business trip on an airplane, you don't need a TV in front of you. You have everything right here.
Right.
And I feel like the mentality of business has morphed around that almost, because people pay for advertisements and it's right pointed right at you. You scroll on Facebook, you scroll on Twitter, and every other thing you see is an advertisement, whether it be for a car dealership or a cleaning service, or if a new restaurant is opening up in your town, you see it. No matter where you look, you see it. And because everything is connected now, people take advantage of that. And that's especially with magicians and show business. You want to be able to get your name out there, and if everything is connected, it's easier, but at the same time, you got to make sure that you're on everything to get your word out.
It's also harder. I remember listening to Tony Robbins like 6 months ago, and he said 20 years ago, someone would hear about you 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and they'd buy. Whether it's a cleaning service, whether it's somebody organizing the house, or a magician, or whatever. People would hear something 3 or 4 times, and then they would buy it.
Right.
Today, it's like 16 times.
Yeah.
Someone has to hear about you 16 times before they call you up and say, hey, would you come over and speak for our company?
That's very true. And I noticed when I started doing magic at restaurants and bars, I would give out my business card.
Right.
When we would clean up at the end of the night, I would see some of my business cards on the ground.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? So I would take them back and I put them back in my pocket,
Right.
if they weren't saturated with beer at that point. But it's like, okay, so I went up to you, I performed, I gave you my business card. Maybe it didn't really work,
Right.
the way that I thought it would work, as far as being able to get the name of myself out there.
Right.
But when you've got people coming back multiple times, week after week after week, I remember I would see the same people there, and eventually they started recognizing me.
Right.
And eventually they'd be like, hey, you got to come over here and show my friend a trick.
Exactly.
Right. I even got hired from a couple of people who had saw me a lot, but I noticed it's the people that came back and the people that had known, that had seen me before, that decided that they were going to pull the trigger and bring me in for their own personal, gain or whatever they wanted. I've very rarely have I gotten a birthday party or one of my many things that I do off of one business card.
Right. Exactly. Well, I think it's just like getting married. I know you're married and you have a child, but you don't go up to a single woman, and I'm sure you didn't, and say, hey, let's just get married. You met the person.
I wish it was that easy.
You dated the person. So it's a process. And
it is.
Today, what is your pipeline? What is your process of bringing your customer through? Do you have a pipeline? Do you have this thought out as a magician, as an entertainer, as a business person?
No, because it consistently changes.
It does change.
It does.
Oh, I see.
Especially with social media. Social media is making it so easy yet so difficult for entertainers to promote their business.
But see, you wouldn't be here today if I didn't see you on social media. I saw you on social media.
But that's not how we met.
How did we meet?
We met at Phantasma Magic.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh.
You gave me your business card, and then we connected on social media.
Okay. So we met that. Okay, I didn't know that. I remember just seeing you on Facebook. Okay, excellent. Didn't realize that. Okay. Interesting.
That's when you told me about your book.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, if we didn't have social media,
right,
and you weren't able to connect with me through
I would have
social
forgotten
media, you would have forgotten me, and I wouldn't be sitting here.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, and you wouldn't,
But it consistently changes.
I see.
Look at all these updates that social media has. As soon as you think you're getting used to something, they change it.
Right.
And the advertisement, I've noticed, like, for example, if I were to go onto YouTube and I'm watching something on YouTube, I remember 5 years ago, there was one little box on the side of the video that was promoting something.
Right.
Now you get commercials.
Yeah, before the video shows. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you get a commercial beforehand, a 15-second Mazda advertisement, for example.
Right.
All right, or the car's driving around, and it's, buy this car.
Right.
Cool. 10 minutes into the video, then it blocks out, and then there's another commercial for like a dating website.
Right.
They have figured out how to get you at the right time so that way it not only catches you off guard and kind of gets your attention, but you're forced to look at it because they don't let you skip it until you're at least 5 seconds in.
Yes. They
'Cause all it-
monetize
Yes.
the YouTube. Yeah.
Yes, but all it takes is 5 minutes for you to be like, oh, well, now I know what that is.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's pretty slick advertising.
It's psychologically slick.
Well, that's what I want to talk about, because magicians, they're psychiatrists or psychologists. They have to get into the mind of their prospect or their audience and say, this is what we're going to, like you did a card trick last time.
Yeah.
And you were able to bring me through, you knew what you were going to do before I did. In fact, I picked a card. And in the process of picking a card, you shuffled the deck and then you revealed the card. But at the very end, on the back of the card was my card. But you knew that whole process where I was brought through it. And I think it's the same way with sales.
It is.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
So if you're a good magician, you could be a good marketer.
Absolutely.
So what'd you say about Barnum last time? What was that quote?
Oh, geez, which one? There's
There was
there's
the
a couple of
one
them.
that talked about not a customer or prospect being born every day, but there
I
was
was going to say, yeah, sucker born every day. That's one of his.
And I don't even think he said that. I think he said a customer is born every minute. I don't think he said sucker. I don't think he actually said
maybe
that.
he did. Maybe somebody like
Spun it afterwards.
yeah,
A show business.
show business.
That was the
yes.
term. Yeah.
P.T. Barnum invented the term
He
show
did.
business. Now, mind you, The Greatest Showman is my favorite movie of all time.
Mine too.
I've seen
it 5 times.
I've seen it like 40.
Really?
Yeah, like I've got all the songs memorized. I've everything.
Do people come up to you and say you're the guy? Because I've had people tell me that. I've had 2 or 3 people say, "You're the guy." I'm like, "Oh wow, I can't fill those shoes."
No. I've been told I'm the guy. I'm the guy who plays P.T. Barnum.
Do you know that's coming to Broadway?
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's
That's
about
what I
time.
hear anyway.
That's
Yeah.
good. Final. That's great. But no, P.T. Barnum was the master marketer.
Right.
Master of it.
So you can be good at magic, but if you're not good at a marketing point of view or sales, forget about it.
You can have a grand illusion show, and if nobody knows about you,
Right.
you're not going to sell a ticket.
Darren Brown, I watched a lecture. He's in the UK, very famous. You mentioned him being on YouTube last time.
Brilliant mentalist.
He did a 2-hour interview. I know you know where it is, but the audience, I won't get into it. But he was asked, how do you do this? Like, how do you become so famous? How do you become so good at what you do? He says there's 2 aspects. Number 1, you have to be really good at what you do. Like, you have to be a really good performer. And number 2, you got to be a really good marketer. So the interview goes on for like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and then finally the guy says another question. He goes, you got to be really good at magic, and you got to be really good as a promoter. And most magicians, most entertainers, they're like this. They can't do it. They don't have both oars in the water.
Yeah, and especially lately when I've really been learning about the marketing side.
Yeah.
Because I'm my own agent, I'm my own promoter,
Right.
I do all of my own, booking.
Yep.
I don't have a team,
Not yet.
Not yet. But at the same time, I don't know, because I have a really hard time trusting people with that kind of thing.
Because
It's like,
you're an entrepreneur.
I'm also very, very anal about
And hands-on.
Yes, it's got to be done a certain way, and unless I could find somebody who could do it the exact way that I'm doing it, it's going to be really difficult.
Well, you know Paul Draper, right?
I do,
From
yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah,
And
I met him
we've
before.
called and talked, and we've become friends. He said there's no way in the world an agent is going to sell you or save you. And I said, well, how did you build how'd you build the business? And he said, this is what I did. I took 100% responsibility, and I went out there and I did it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, wow. Because you think, if you have a website, if you have an agent, they're going to do the work for you. They're going to save you. They're not.
Yeah, and he does 300 performances a year.
And he's very wealthy.
Oh yeah, very, very wealthy.
Yeah.
He's very well known too.
Right.
But yeah, I was listening to a podcast actually that he was on, and he was talking about how to book your show in theaters.
Oh, I heard about that, but I didn't get on.
Yeah, it's very. I'll have to send it to you.
Okay.
Through Facebook, because
Okay.
I believe I have the podcast on my phone.
Okay.
I'll find the link for it. It was on a Magic Cafe.
Yeah. Yeah. He's very helpful. In fact, Jeff McBride and one of his buddies came out with a book on marketing, and they interviewed him on how to do it and how he.
If anybody knows how to do it, it's him.
It is.
He's like, think about it. He does 24 theaters a year.
He does.
And he's got this strategic way of being able to put his face into the theater's, like into the theater's eyes.
Right.
Before they even book him.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I was listening in the podcast, and Paul, love you. It's a lot more difficult that you put it out to be. I've tried it. He explains how he gets a poster made up that they would put in their display case, and he would mail a postcard of that poster.
Yeah.
And then he would send them an email and ask them if they got the poster. And then he would call them. And then he would send them another email thanking them for the call. And then he would send them another poster. And then he would email them again asking them if they got the poster. And then he would email them again about setting up a date for another call. And then he would call them. And then he would leave them alone for 6 months.
He told me the same thing.
Yeah.
We went out to dinner in Long Island 3 years ago, and I said, Paul, you have to pull back the curtain. And he told me the exact same thing.
And my problem is I'm not patient enough. So what I do is I've got to, like, my basic pitch for when I'm trying to book a theater, which is what I'm trying to branch out into.
Right.
I'll send them an email, and my emails are very basic. It's a copy and paste type thing, but I just go in and I change the name of the theater and the date.
Right.
So what I do is I say, hi, my name is Chris Lengyel with Chris Lengyel Magic. I'm interested in performing at your theater. My dates are very flexible. That's what I tell them. Sometimes I have to move things around just to make sure that I look good. I say, here's my phone number, here's my email address, here's my website, all at the very bottom. If you have any questions, give me a call. And included, I have a little folder, and it's got my press kit, it's got 2 videos, my resume, my headshot, and then I have a website that I go to where I make custom posters, and I will send them a picture of the poster that I would use for them. And I tell them, if there's anything you need to change, let me know. So it's like I took Paul's idea and I kind of condensed it because I don't want to wait so long.
So you're telling me you're sending a poster even though they haven't booked you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like you're presuming that you have the sale.
Exactly, and think about it. It's like if they see, like, for example, the Warner Theater is, a mile away from the studio right now?
Right down the street.
So, like, granted, I've been trying to contact them for the past year. I'm going to stop there when we're done filming here.
Nice.
I'm walking right in, but I've sent them a poster, and it was my face, and then in big letters, Warner Theater.
So how do you produce this? That is a PDF, or you have somebody do it for you?
No, what it is there's a website that I go to called Poster My Wall, and it's literally, it gives you templates, or you can create it, from scratch.
Wow.
So I put all of my information in. I put all of the theater information in, my headshot and everything. I adjust the fonts, the colors, everything, the angles, and I put together decent-looking posters.
And you take all this time, and then you send it to them, and then they like it.
Yeah. And I tell them, I'm like, if there's anything you need to change, let me know.
Do you put the date when you're going to perform?
I put a mock date.
You do?
I do. And sometimes, like I'll put a date that's around the time when I want to book with them. Like, for example, when I did the show up in Foxborough at the Orpheum Theater.
Right.
Last year, that was in August, and the guy's like, I love the poster. Can we change it to August 3rd? I'm like, August 4th is open for me. He goes, okay, we'll book you for August 4th. Mind you, I had no idea that he was interested in booking me to do my show up there. I just put a date down.
So it's like meeting a girl in the bar and sending her a postcard or something on Facebook and saying, is this where you want to go on the honeymoon? I mean, that's what you're doing.
Well, it's like...
I mean, she's going to think you're creepy, but...
Well, no, it's creepy when I just slide my business card into their pocketbook, but
But that's what you're doing. You're presupposing that you have the date.
It's like a mentalist in a way. You're projecting the answer into their mind and they don't even know it.
This is why I love the psychology.
Yeah.
The psychology behind this is...
But think about this.
Yeah.
Who else has a mindset like that where you can think
warped.
that far ahead? You know what I mean?
I love it. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a car dealer.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to sell a car, you've got the 2020 Mustang GT 500 just came out, all right?
Okay.
That is a $70,000 car. It's also got 800 horsepower. You tap on the gas, you're going 60 miles an hour.
You're going to go back like that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's going to buy that car? Car guys. You're not going to find some 40-year-old office worker receptionist buying a Shelby GT 500.
Right.
But you know what?
What?
They're going to sell 100,000 of them.
Because they know the market.
Absolutely.
Wow.
They know who to project it to. They knew how, where, how loud to make the advertising video in order, because here's the thing. If you're a car, I like cars. I'm a Dodge guy.
Okay.
Dodge Challenger is my dream car. But if you hear an engine that, the first thing you think of is, ooh, what is that?
Wow.
Yeah. And that's kind of like what triggers the mindset. The second you hear a nice engine, you're looking around, you're like, what is making that noise?
Yeah, I love magic, and I love the philosophy behind magic, and I love marketing.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're working together and bringing them together to influence somebody to say yes.
Yeah.
Just like if you fanned out a deck of cards and say, pick any card you want, but there's something going on there where you're influencing me.
Right.
So.
Well, it's like I also always carry business cards on me.
You do.
I always do. That one, actually, right there.
I love this. Well, first of all, I love the color. I love the black and the red. I'm a little prejudiced because I'm wearing black and red, but and you got your telephone number there. How do folks reach out to you and just want to connect with
If
you?
they
How do they get a
wanted
hold
to,
of you?
I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
My website, and that's another thing. Everything, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, my website, everything is Chris Lengyel Magic.
Wow.
Everything.
Excellent.
You type in Chris Lengyel Magic on Google.
Right.
You've got my website. You've got all of my YouTube videos. You've got everything you need to find about me.
I know this guy, Kyle Cease. I met him last
Great comedian.
You know
I
the guy?
love Kyle Cease.
He's moved out of doing comedy.
Really? What's he doing now?
Okay, so he's taken comedy. I didn't know you know this guy.
I've followed him since like 2005.
I just met him last May.
Oh, he's amazing.
He was in upstate. I guess he was in Massachusetts doing a seminar.
Yeah.
So what Kyle's doing now is he's doing his routine of comedy, but he's tying it in with transformational Tony Robbins stuff.
Really?
Yes. If you watch him now,
That goofy guy?
Yes. So this is what he's doing. This is how he got into it. He had all of these colleges, right? Like maybe 500 colleges that he'd go and get $500 for to do a comedy routine, right? So he sat down and did 500 video. Hi, John. This is Kyle. I know you know me from the comedy world, but I want to come and do a lecture series for you, which he got paid $5,000 or $10,000 for. And he sent these all out individually to all these people that he knew. So no, that's what he's doing now.
I actually just heard something about that yesterday.
Really? What'd you hear?
Emailing.
Right.
When you're trying to market yourself as an email, and this is again about thinking outside of the box. People can tell when you're sending out a bulk email.
Right, exactly, because it's not personalized.
Well, exactly, except for maybe you've got their name written in a different font.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It takes a lot more time to individually write out 200 emails to 200 potential clients.
Exactly.
But when you're putting in different words and it's like, hey, I'm trying to have a personal conversation with you, let's meet up. I know that you're here, so let's go and meet up at this at your local coffee shop that's down the street from you. You do the research and stuff.
Right.
And people find that it's a lot more engaging if you personally take your time and try and connect with them.
Exactly. So people are basically looking at all this stuff.
Plus, I can't stand bulk emails. I delete all of them.
There you go. So yeah,
I can't tell you how many times like I've signed up for things. And for example, like I get yours, but I don't delete those. I actually read them.
That's why we had you back.
Yeah. But like I'll get Jeff McBride, for example.
I get his emails.
I talked to Jeff McBride one time on Facebook.
I'll see him next month.
Yeah.
I'm going out to his house.
I've never met him before.
Oh, he's a great guy.
But he sends me emails every other week, and I'm like, Jeff, I'm not signing up for your class. Like, I just wanted to ask you about your mask.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He's a great guy. I've been to his house.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's great. But at the same time, his marketing skill is like, I know I'm at the point I know when I'm supposed to be expecting his email.
Yeah.
Because I get it so much.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You have to hear about Chris before you hire Chris. It's the same thing with Jeff.
Yeah.
And anything else that we do,
Yeah, it's true.
Because our minds, I've read this, that 45 to 65,000 thoughts that we have every day. So 90% of those the next day are the same. So how do you penetrate a person's brain to get a message across to them where a person's brain is inundated by And I don't want to think anymore.
Yeah.
I'm tired of thinking, and I don't want to buy it because it's new.
That's great. You said 30,000 thoughts?
46 to 65,000 thoughts every day.
What kind of thoughts are those?
Well, what am I going to do tomorrow? What's the weather going to be like? It's just we have a routine of thinking. 45 to 65,000 thoughts every day. And tomorrow, 90% of them are the same.
That's nuts.
So how do you get through to your customer? It's crazy. So anyway, show me a card trick. Show
All
me
right,
some
yeah.
magic. Show me something that will amaze not only me but the audience. I know we got about 5 minutes left.
I could do something really
Okay.
quick. And I wanna like verify for anybody.
Let me look. They're all different.
They're all different. I want
Right.
that camera's on. I want you guys to see that they're in fact all different. All right, and 52 cards. I 54 actually. I use the jokers. But here, I want you to select a card for me.
All right.
Anyone that you
Can I
want.
go farther in?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
Okay. All right.
Right there. Do you want that one? Can you show everybody what the card is?
Yeah, let's see where the
I'm
camera
gonna look
is.
over here.
Oh, wow, an interesting card. Don't look, don't look, don't look. There's the card.
I was
Hopefully
gonna
you
say
can
it's
see it.
it's not the same one you picked last time.
No,
The
it's a
10
different
yeah.
card, but I won't
All right.
tell you what it is.
So here's what I'm gonna do. Okay, this is actually a trick that happens multiple times. So you're gonna put the card back.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna put it inside of the pack just like this.
Okay.
And what I will do is I'm just gonna give it a quick little snap just like this, and your card will jump up the 8 of hearts.
That was not
That was
my
not your card. All right.
No.
Snap your fingers. Whenever you snap, the 4 of diamonds will
Wait a
jump
minute.
up to the top.
That's
Now watch,
my
but
card.
hold on.
That's-
But hold- the 4 of diamonds was
Yeah,
your
it was
card?
my
Now
card,
watch.
yeah.
I'm going to put it into the center of the pack.
Yeah.
Ready? Snap your fingers. This time it'll jump right back up to the top.
Very
of the deck.
ambitious.
Now, if I wanted to, I can actually take your card and I'll just give it a little wave.
What?
And it'll turn to the 7 of hearts, right?
Wow.
And I want to show you now this time the next card on top, not the 7, but the next one on top of that is the 2 of spades. But watch this. Ready? One,
Wait a minute,
two-
wait a minute.
There, you see, that's when it works. Right? No, seriously.
That's
now
wonderful.
watch. Let's. No, wait. The 2 of spades. The 4 of diamonds was your card, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you. Let's just rub it on the desk and we'll get rid of the 2 of spades
All
altogether.
right, so that's my card, and you're good at sleight of hand.
Well, thank you.
I know that what you just did there was represented by a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Like someone playing the piano. That does not come easy. Not
No.
at all. So, all right, so if they want to get a hold of you, they can find you on Facebook. I really appreciate you talking about the philosophy behind this and the mindset. So whether you want to start a business, no matter what people want to do. So I usually ask people in the last few minutes, how do you want to be remembered? I know you're a young guy. You're young. I'm 56. You're only what, in your 20s?
25.
So how do you want to be remembered other
don't-
than playing Madison Square Garden?
Well, besides playing Madison
How do you want to
Square
be
Garden,
remembered?
As somebody,
Time's running out.
yeah, probably as somebody who just consistently pushed to make his dream come true.
Excellent.
You know, I don't listen to anybody.
Wow.
Like when it comes to negativity, it's
Right.
like if you tell me I'm not going to do something,
You're going to do it.
I'm going to do it twice.
Right.
You know?
And I think that's what it takes. I think to be an entrepreneur, to be an entertainer or a magician, to
it's
do what I do, to what you do, you have to be focused.
It's all about just not giving up. You
Right,
know, just
right.
if you want to make a job out of something,
Right.
and you want to stop your 9 to 5, do it.
Right.
You know, like if you play guitar, go and do it. It's not hard to get bookings.
Right.
You know, just you don't even have to be good.
Well, I've met some entertainers. They're not that great, but they're great marketers.
Well, exactly. But
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, it's I would want to be remembered as the guy. If you want to do something, don't let anybody tell you can't, because you can and you will.
So good. So I hope we gave you something to think about. Chris is here. We're talking about the philosophy of magic, but most of all, we're talking about the mindset. And you really have to have the mindset to be successful. And I like the fact that you talked about getting rid of negativity. Other than sports, you probably don't want to watch a lot of news, do you?
Not after the election.
Oh, okay. So
It's just too depressing.
most people have found themselves glued to the media, glued to what's going on. I know that I don't own a television, and it's in the process of focusing on things that are positive that you're able to do. I know that card trick,
know-
that took a lot of time.
You know what I think the problem with today's media is? They target people who are so closed-minded they'll believe anything.
That's right. Well, listen, we hope we gave you something to think about. I'm Greg Dwyer. We have Chris Lengyel. I said it right?
Yes.
Excellent. And we'd love to have you back next
I
time.
would definitely like to come back.
Okay, well, we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Bye.